Hello, I'm Tara Brabazon, and welcome to the Post 46. How do we control what we can control? Let me explain. Okay, you've got your mission statement. You've configured a goal, and you've managed those quite difficult procrastination issues that you have. But still, you can have a goal and not achieve it. Now, the question is why? And the answer I'm giving you this week is how we control what we control, and therefore also control what we don't control. You see, in our heads, we think we rule the universe. I understand that, but deep in the night, and again, I'm recording this very early this morning, deep in the night, I think we know how very little of life we control. So how do we manage the sort of hopelessness of that and the powerlessness of that while achieving our goal? Put another way, how do we control what we can control? And that's our goal of this week. Now, we're separating it. We've got two very simple parts in the post this week: what you can control and what you can't control. Now, this is a diagnostic week, and I hope it gives you a lot of calmness and peace. As I've done the research for this week has transformed me, if I'm honest. It's given me a lot of calmness and a new vista, a new way of thinking about my life. Perhaps it gives you some clarity, but also I hope, as it's done with me, you know where to focus your attention, where it makes the most difference. So there are 6 domains or attributes that are in our control: our boundaries, our thoughts and actions, our goals, what we give our time and focus to, how we speak to ourselves, and how we respond to and handle challenges. So there are 6 areas that we can control, and there are 7 domains over which we have no control: the past, the future, the actions of others, the opinions of others, the outcome of our efforts, and how other people look after themselves. So let's now talk about what's in our control. How do we configure boundaries in our lives? And I focus a lot on professional boundaries because in some ways, once you've got your professional boundaries organised, what's left are your personal boundaries. And how we configure the difference between a professional boundary and a personal boundary is crucial to you, crucial to your health, crucial to your well-being. Oh yeah. Through much of life, and this has been really true of me speaking a truth to you today, through much of my life, people have increased the power that they hold, ambition. They've increased the power that they've held by maintaining sloppy boundaries. So people have gained power by slopping leisure and personal issues into a workplace and displacing public matters into personal matters. And that confusion has enabled and supported the empowered. Something to think about. As humans, I would argue, we gain mental clarity, we gain mental fitness by creating boundaries and separations and speaking to those boundaries and separations to others. It is that old cliche, and as I've got older, I sort of think, wow, it's probably right. But there's that old cliche that we teach others how to treat us. And look, I'd understand it would be fabulous if all humans were wonderful and compassionate and vegan and respect all boundaries and respect us and love each other. That would be lovely if that happened, but it's not the case. So we have to understand how we control our lives. And we control our lives by creating and managing and sharing with others our personal and professional boundaries, and also, most importantly, enforcing them. The second area we can control is our thoughts and our actions. Now, what we think and how we behave is 100% in our control. Yes, we can blame other people. We can blame our mothers. We can blame our fathers. We can blame our boss. We can blame our friends. But to be frank, the buck stops with us. It does. So make sure that you tend to your thoughts. You tend to your actions, like you're looking after a lawn. We'll come back to the lawn metaphor shortly. So check yourself. Check yourself. Reflect on your thoughts. Reflect on your actions. And you know what? Hold yourself accountable. The other domain we control is our goals. Oh, we've loved goals in this coaching series. And really, in many ways, I didn't know when I started the series, to be honest. Goals are really the punctuation of life if we treat them properly. So you are choosing a goal in your life. It may be finally cleaning the laundry. It may be reading a chapter of a book every day. It might be writing 250 words. And that goal is completely and absolutely in your domain of control, as is the other domain of time and focus. We can create all sorts of goals, but they'll do nothing for us unless we change our behaviour and enact that goal through that behaviour. Now, Mara Neville Thomas argued, and I love this quote, attention is now the most valuable commodity. Mara argues that if the problem is distraction, the answer is not time management, but attention management. Ooh, yeah, that's interesting. So that means we choose how we spend our time and our focus. You could be playing Coin Master, or you could be reading a high quality scholarly monograph. That is your choice. There is nothing that forces you to play Minecraft. Sorry, and I'm not a big fan of using the word addiction. I'm addicted to my phone. Sort yourself out. The world doesn't end if you put your phone in your bag for 5 hours a day. Sort yourself. Make different choices. And the choices that you make and the behavior that you activate is completely in your control. Now, Alex Altman described this as doing less but with greater focus. I like that a lot. And he argued that consistency is the key. Now, we have two more domains over which we have control. The first, and I'm just going to have a cough, my apologies. As you can hear, it's very early in the morning. Now, we have two more domains over which we have control. The first is how we speak to ourselves. Now, this has been the area I've been working on through this coaching series. I know it may come as a surprise to you, but I rage at myself quite frequently. I wander around life and I use phrases like, you stupid cow, Tara, what the hell do you think you're doing? With variable expletives around those phrases. Oh, Tara, oh, absolutely stupid, right? So I use these sort of phrases in my life. And all of us have control over how we speak about ourselves. So you know what? Let's make a decision together as a family today. Let's monitor how we describe and address ourselves. This type of self-language, and I'm interested in that phrase too, this type of self-language, as Jennifer Smith has argued, it stops us taking risks. Isn't this interesting? And it stops us trying something new and increases our indecisiveness, loneliness, and catastrophizing. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Because we expect the worst to happen, we blame ourselves when something goes wrong. And can I say, during this series, I've really addressed this one in myself, and I've started to acknowledge the completion of tasks to myself. And so I've been changing my language. Now, I know it sounds mad, but after I do something really difficult, so after I start a task and finish a task, I say stuff to myself out loud, like, Tara, well done. Tara, that was good focus. You had a good achievement. That goal was worth spending the time. I know that sounds quite mad that I'm doing this out loud and speaking to myself like I've got multiple personalities, but then I probably do. We all have. But I tell you why this languaging has helped me a lot. Because it's acknowledging the task, it's acknowledging the effort, and it performs the intrinsic motivation that my time and my work has value. The last area where we have control in our lives is how we handle challenges. Ooh. This is the one area that if we get this right, it can transform our lives and can enhance the success in our lives. Now, if we handle challenges by blaming other people, those people over there, blaming those institutions over there, blaming our boss, or indeed shaming, shaming other people, or shaming institutions, or shaming your boss, then you know what? We've actually at that point parked the opportunities and trajectories for success. So if we handle challenges by acknowledging, you know what, this is a difficult time, or what I'm about to do today is incredibly difficult, and speaking the words, you know what, today is going to be a hard day, and then you sit in the challenge, you sit in the problem, and then you create goals that provide the solutions to that problem. Yeah. So when we do that, we experience a lot less stress, and we also experience a lot less fear. If we log and note in our lives what we can control, we also log and note in our lives what we can transform. Now notice, I'm not suggesting here that we as individuals can solve all problems in the universe. We absolutely can't. But what we do have control over is how we understand and how we manage the challenges in our lives. And we can make a decision to blame, shame, express anger or fear, or we can make a different decision. So as you can see, we control a lot in our lives. I was quite surprised by that. We control a lot. And I often, as I said, the lawn metaphor's coming back, I often think about my life as caring for a lawn, right? So we plant the lawn, put fertilizer on the lawn, we water the lawn, and we mow the lawn, and we do the edges so the edges look all nice, right? So we control what happens on that lawn, right? Now, if things go wrong on the lawn, you might blame climate change, or the brand of fertilizer, you might blame climate, right? You might blame it's climate. Climate has caused the problem with this lawn. But, you know, that's not the case. You can control what is happening on that lawn. You can't control what's happening on the road in front of it, but you can control what's happening on the lawn. And that's like life really, isn't it? That is life. I gain a lot of peace and a lot of comfort from knowing that those 6 domains in our lives we can control. That's empowerment. People talk about empowerment a lot. There is empowerment. But you know what? When I was doing the research this week, I think I gained even more peace. And even, I think, happiness for me, which from an old goth is unbelievable, but I gained a fair amount of peace and happiness when I started to research the domains over which we do not have control. And that means that there's no point worrying about them. There's no point being frightened about them, being concerned. There's no point wasting 1 minute of our lives over these 7 domains. So we have no control over them. Doesn't mean they don't matter. They matter a great deal. But it means that whatever we do has no impact or influence or effect. So like the great philosophers from Frozen have confirmed, let it go. Let it go. Right. So the first domain that is out of our control is the past. Well, this is a biggie. The past has happened, dude. All the good decisions, all the bad decisions, the missteps, the stuff-ups, the failures, the successes, all that stuff has happened. It's gone. It's out of our control. Don't live in the past. It's gone. And similarly, of course, we have absolutely no control over the future. There's not one part of the future that we can shape. We can hope. We can wish upon a star. But we only have control over the goals, the decisions, and the behaviours that we action in the present. The future is not remotely in our control. We do not know what is going to happen. All we can do, and I love this, to cite John Kersler, is to, quote, practice the present, end of quote. Can I say, when I read that incredible book, Practice the Present, I've been carrying that phrase with me every single day now. What am I doing? I'm practicing the present. How brilliant is that? So the next two domains over which we have no control are the actions of others and the opinions of others. We all know people, don't we? We all know people that like to tell us what we should be thinking and what we should be doing. Yawn. They think they know how to be us better than we do. And they then think that they have the right to tell us what we should be doing with our lives. And of course, informing us of all the mistakes that we are making. I have a lot of these people in my life. And can I say, I love them, but what I do with these people is I metaphorically put them on mute. So I press the little mute button. So when I'm with them, I wish them well, I nod a lot, but they have no right at all to tell me how to live. And remember, this also works for us as well. We have absolutely no right to worry about or control or tell other people how to live their lives. That's out of our control. That's their business. And if we're doing that, we're actually moving into their personal and professional boundaries, which is not right. So whatever opinions or vibes that other people have about you, that's not our concern. You have absolutely no control over that. So therefore, today, make a decision, which is in your control, to not waste a moment of your present, which is also in your control. And don't offer opinions or views about the behaviours or the actions of other people. You don't control that. So let it go. We're back to Frozen. Let it go. Let it go. Okay. And also remember that it's arrogance, it's self-absorption, and it's ego that assumes that we're always right, we know what's going on, and everyone around us is always wrong. Now, no one died and made us wizard of the universe. Trust me, I'm in that queue, and I'm never going to be wizard of the universe. Now, the fifth domain over which we have absolutely no control is what others think of us. Now, school peer groups, we're going straight to school. You knew I would go there. School peer groups create that lie in our lives that we basically spend the rest of our life living that lie. And that lie is that if we change our behaviour, we can be popular. We can be liked. Oh dear. Now, I'm sure most of us remember in high school, there was always that group of popular kids. You know, the popular, fashionable kids. And at my school, they were called the trendies. Of course, they were trendies. Now, I was never a trendy. I know that comes as a complete surprise to you. I'm a goth. And none of my friends were trendies either. And there was nothing I could do in my life to ever become a trendy. I was just outside that. No behaviour I could enact would make me one of the trendies. But of course, the problem is socialisation through primary and secondary education lies to us and suggests that our behaviour can change how other people think about us. Now, I think we all know as adults that we have no control over what other people think of us, or even more poignantly, if they ever think of us. Because remember, we're not the centre of the universe. We are a speck of dust that dies. And most of the people that we meet don't even remember our name 2 seconds after we've been introduced, okay? So the idea that people think we're terribly important and my behaviour is crucial, it's like, team, people don't even know you're alive. So the notion that we would spend 1 second of our incredibly precious life thinking that we can control what other people think of us is completely and utterly delusional. The last 2 domains, and this is where it gets really crunchy and interesting, can I say, and this exploded my brain. So the last 2 domains are difficult and they're transformative, and they require some real struggle within ourselves, but also some self-discipline. Now, firstly, wow, here we go. We have no control over the outcome of our efforts. Now, this was a really hard one for me because we're taught by our families through our entire lives, and I'll do the cliche because I've lived with this cliche. If you work hard, you'll be successful. If you work hard, you'll be successful. My whole life, basically, that has been the grammar of my life. Tara, if you just work hard enough, you'll be successful. Now, actually, we certainly do control how hard we work. We control the choices we make about that work. We control the behaviour that we enact to enable that work. But we cannot control the outcomes of our efforts. We can, of course, and here comes the horrible bit, we can, of course, produce great research that goes absolutely nowhere. And that person over there can produce absolute rubbish, and it can be, applauded and have incredible citations. I can give you thousands of examples of that. So we all know that that's how life operates. People can work hard and it goes nowhere. People can be slack, produce a bit of rubbish and do incredibly well. That's our culture, that's our life. We know that. But the question is then, what do you do with that knowledge? And if it then leads to rage and anger and, of course, the truly toxic jealousy, then wow, it's going to impact on your life. Now, actually, we can gain a lot of peace in our lives, I think, when we realise that we have absolutely no control over the outcomes of our efforts. Our task as humans is to work hard, ethically, and well, and then release our best efforts to the universe and know that we have absolutely no control over how that work will be received. Changes your life, doesn't it? Wow. Do your best, release it to the universe, see what happens. The final domain that is out of our control, and again, this is a toughie, is how other people look after themselves. We've all seen family members, friends, colleagues drink themselves to death, take a range of pretty complicated pharmaceuticals, self-medicate, self-harm, and blow up their own lives with their partner, with their family, with their friends. Now, we can express great love and respect for the people around us, but we have no control over how other people care for themselves. We can buy them a gym membership, we can go for a walk with them, we can buy high quality food, we can recommend counselling, but even if we create the products and the conditions for them to make better choices, to live healthier and better, say, we cannot control how other people take care of themselves. And I know if that person is a close friend, or perhaps a partner, a family member, that's devastating knowledge. But each of us can only control and have control over the choices that we make. We can't control the choices of other people. So, I hope the post this week has been useful to you. I found the research this week deeply moving, and I think I've changed this week. I feel that I've got some phrases, some tropes, and some ideas that can really propel me forward in a very different way. Domains in our control, domains out of our control. And even if we just temporarily in our life, to clean our life up a bit, frame our life into these two categories, I think that is useful. It'll save a lot of time, it'll save us some pain, and it might reduce our fear as we move through daily life. And can I say, when I configured those categories, what we can control, what we can't control in my life, I found a lot of peace, because I stopped chasing the opinions of other people. I stopped feeling resentful about people putting their commentaries on me. That was a real problem for me. It's like people telling me, and I go, can you just leave me alone? It's like, now I just mute them and wish them well, right? And that's happened a lot in my life. So this means if we can control and not control, we can focus all our time on the decisions that we make and the work that we do. And we can mute all those people trying to tell us how to live our life. So from this peace and this calm and this quiet, we can make clear decisions. We can sweep away the fear and the worry. And we don't have to fear or worry anymore over those variables over which we have no control. I wish you love, light, and peace. Tea out.